not the Hannah on the, what on earth is wrong with me? This is not the Hannah on the Road podcast. That was the podcast that I used to have before. This is the Making Stories podcast. Clearly, we're off to an amazing start. Yay! Part of which could be because I haven't talked to a single person yet this morning. I'll tell you about why in a second. This is like, I think among the top 5 intros that I've ever done. Yeah, great job, Annalisa. Anyways, Annalisa is my name. That's me. I'm the owner and CEO of Making Stories, where we're all about knitting sustainably. We carry a beautiful selection of sustainably sourced yarns and notions, and we also publish a knitting magazine twice a year that's called Making Stories Magazine. And this podcast is where I share what's on my needles, what's off my needles, clearly what's in my head. Today we also have some knitting plans, and at the end rather large section of shop news, because one of the things that I like to do is give you an overview of what to expect from us in the next couple of weeks / months, because one of the things that I'm trying to do with Making Stories with my shop is to enable you to make conscious purchases, because that is to me one of the most important things about sustainability in life in general. Sort of do things consciously, because the details of it look completely different for everyone. They hugely depend on where you are in your life, how your financial situation is like, what your priorities are, and so like, you know, this what's become this buzzword of sustainability just looks completely different for everyone. What you need is the right information to make the choices that fit to your life. So that's what I'm here for. Yay! Also, I realized I didn't use my glasses, so I can't really see super well. But anyways, welcome to this rather frantic podcast episode. Thank you so much to everyone who commented under the last episode, which was the first one in this new setting. YouTube did not send me a single email about any comments, so I was like, oh my god, and no one watched the video. And when I just logged on this morning to check whether I had talked about a specific FO in the last episode, I saw that there were quite a few comments. So I'm really sorry if you commented and I hadn't replied. I have replied now. Most of you said you liked the setting. I'm still missing my chair. The nook was so nice. If you're new to the podcast, I used to record in a corner of our bedroom where I had like a really nice chair and there was like really good lighting and stuff, but that was when we were still sleeping on a mattress on the floor, which we've done for the last 4 years because we have a toddler. Now we have a bed, which is amazing, and I wouldn't want to change anything about that. But it meant that my little podcast nook had to go. So I've switched over to this, which I also quite like. But as someone commented, it has some lighting issues. So you can see the light is coming from there, which is where our balcony is. So there's lots of light. And last time the camera really struggled with the light, and it was just trying to, I'm glancing over there because I'm trying to see whether it happens again, because over there is my laptop where I can see myself. It just kept autocorrecting, and I am honestly not camera proficient enough to know why it did that and had to change that. And for this episode, there might still be some of that because the person in my household who knows this kind of stuff, my lovely partner and husband, David, is gone with Oren, with our little one, for 5 days, and I'm alone, which is amazing. So, yeah. I could Google it. Yeah, I could. I didn't. So, not sure whether the weird thing with the lighting happens again. If it does, I'm really sorry. I'll see it in editing and then I'll know to Google or ask David for the next time. I'm not going to pause recording to look it up now. I'm sorry. You'll have to deal with it. So yeah, apparently part of the slightly frantic intro and pace of this podcast is the fact that it's now 7:44 in the morning. I haven't talked to a single person this morning. I've been up since 5:20. Just woke up. And yeah, apparently I don't know what my brain is doing right now. But I am pretty I am pretty happy that I have like a few days just to myself. David and I, we try to take turns to do this every quarter, and coincidentally now it's almost been back to back. So a few weeks ago I took Orion to see my parents, and David had a few days at home alone, and they left for a little vacation at the North Sea with David's parents just yesterday. And honestly, is one of the best things that we decided to do as parents and as people. I think that you probably, I would say, in any relationship where you're pretty close, like David and I, we both work from home. We work in the same office, sort of like, or room in our apartment. We obviously raise a kid together. We're a couple. We are spending a lot of time together. And so I think in any relationship, no matter whether you have kids or not, you can use, if you're someone like me who likes alone time, some days alone. And then if you add a kid into that mix, holy shit, yeah, you definitely do need that. So if, you know, if you have a kid, especially sort of like baby/toddler age, and they're at the point where you can leave them, so they don't need you for like feeding or anything like that, just maybe consider that. I know that life circumstances for everyone are completely different, but it doesn't need to be like a huge vacation. It can be like, you know, your partner or a grandparent or a good friend takes the kid for a night and you have an evening for yourself, right? Or they go to like their parents or friends for a few days. I found it crucial that it's at home, so that, you know, I have my routine, I have my comforts. We've both actually found that, you know, we have like, we both really like video gaming. I don't think I've ever talked about this on here. Clearly this is the very random episode, so yay. If you're new to the podcast, I'm not even sorry. Like, I just honestly apparently feel like talking. So yeah, so we both like video games. So, you know, it's nice that we have our consoles here, and that, you know, I have my knitting stuff and everything. It's just really nice. Period. Speaking of, you know what I'm going to do today? I'm going to pick up my copy of Diablo 4, because I used to play the original Diablo like nobody's business, and I haven't played anything. I haven't played Diablo 3. So I'm going to pick that up and play it tonight, and I can't wait. Yay! Okay, you are probably here for the knitting. Let me just quickly check whether it's actually recording this. Oh, and I just realized it's doing the thing with the lighting. So sorry about that. I did switch to a different lens, which I actually quite like. Like, I like the, just looking again at the screen here, I like the setting. I like the look of it. Okay, so I want to talk about my works in progress first. I don't have any FOs this week, and then we're going to dive into some knitting plans, which I like to do periodically once I'm sort of nearing the end of a stretch of certain projects, and then the promised shop news segment. I have 2 works in progress, and the one that I've almost been exclusively working on, coming in my trusted Height and Hember roll top number 3 bag, is my violet tea, which is in quite a good state to be showing at the podcast. And I've made significant progress on this since we last saw each other. I think when we last saw each other, I had maybe just joined the fronts. I am not sure. But we have a finished body. So a t-shirt that needs sleeves and a neckline, and then it's done. And I actually, I picked up the sleeve stitches earlier today. And then I counted them, and I realized that I had assumed you had to pick up every single stitch, but you had to pick up every other stitch. So I just ripped that back out and decided I'm going to do that later today. I am so in love with this. I'm going to talk a little bit more about this sort of at length when it's done, which is going to be the next podcast episode. But because I know that quite a few of you have ordered kits for this tea, I want to dive a little bit into it. So the violet tea is a design by Jessica McDonald, and Jessica and I, we partnered on a little campaign around it together. So I put together kits in the yarn that I'm using for mine, and Jessica was so generous to provide a discount code for the pattern for our newsletter subscribers. So hopefully if you are a newsletter subscriber, you got that, and you got your copy of the pattern, because it's really, really, really nice, and I think it's the perfect summer tea. It's knit top down. It's boxy, and I might make mine quite to the pattern specification, so it's written to be a bit cropped. But if you don't like that, you can very, very easily just lengthen the body. It is mostly knit and stockinette, but then there's this cute little lace portion at the bottom. Sorry, the camera is blowing out the color. I'm going to show you an accurate color representation. So obviously the lace needs some blocking for it to open up, but I really like that detail. Okay, this is more accurate. The lace thing is a funny thing. So it's a symmetrical lace pattern. I'm not sure what happened with my brain, but when I was two lace rows, so 4 rows before the end of the lace section, I knit through halfway of the row, and then I realized that for the second half of the row, I had just completely knitted the wrong things for the last 2 rows, and it was like, oh shit. That was Friday night when we did a movie night. It was so cute. We had the kid of neighbors over for a sleepover here. We take turns doing that. Like, they take Oren for a weekend, we take their kids for a weekend every once in a while. And Oren had his first movie night. So he does watch videos every once in a while, but he hadn't watched a full movie yet. And so we did that on Friday night, and I was knitting. And at some point, I realized that there's a mistake in the lace that runs for half around. And so, the lighting thing is really just annoying. And so I was like, no, I'm not gonna try and fix that tonight while I have a movie night with like kids and stuff. So the next morning, I'm really thankful that I did that, because the next morning I got up, I had my coffee, I sat down, I realized what I had done was I had placed the yarn overs at the wrong place. So basically I had done decreases yarn over where I should have done yarn over decrease. And that's actually a really easy fix. If that happens to you, you can knit to that spot, drop the extra yarn over, and pull up an extra yarn over from the row below. So that's what I did. And then it was back on track. And yeah, I really quite like that. Being able to fix my knitting, because I don't like knitting back. The yarn that I'm using for my violet tea is Wooldreamers Saona, a blend of 50% Spanish merino and manchega wool and 50% Spanish cotton. and it's beautifully heathered and really, really lovely to knit with. Like, it's not squeaky or rubbery, you know, that kind of like cottony feeling that you sometimes get from cotton yarns because they're cotton. It's really nice and woolly and springy, and I love it. And I'm really curious because I've never knit myself a summer top or t-shirt that contains wool. And I've come to realize that wool can actually be comfortably worn in warmer climates as well, in the summer, because of its amazing properties, and that it doesn't only warm you, but it also cools you. So yeah, I've heard a lot of good things about people knitting summer tops in wool yarns, so I'm really excited about this one. And it's gorgeous. I like it. Yeah, it will be done by the next podcast episode. Then you can see me wearing it. We did, as I said initially or earlier, kits for this with the one, like, sorry, I just keep looking over there because the lighting thing keeps happening and I'm not entirely sure why, and it's bugging me. It's annoying. Look, like every time that I do this, it just changes something with the lighting. No. Okay, I just tried to figure out what was happening with the camera and I couldn't, and so I'm really sorry, but you'll have to deal with the lighting being weird for this episode, and then I can ask David to help me figure it out when he's back. I was just talking about the Violet Tea kits, which a lot of you have purchased. That was amazing. Thank you so much. I am waiting for our reorder of Wooldreamers Saona. So we sold out of the kits in under 12 hours that I had in stock. And then I put up a pre-order and we sold, I think, another 50. And so I placed a big order with Wooldreamers on Friday, and it's due to arrive this week. And as soon as it does, I'll get to packing everything up and sending everything your way. So yay! At which point we'll also restock Saona because it's completely sold out at the moment in our shop. So if you like this and you want to get yarn for this, you can then at that point. Okay, let's move on to the next work in progress, which is a new sweet little sock, which I'm really excited about. I try to always have socks on my needles. You know this by now if you've been following the podcast for a little while, because they were great for taking to the playground and, when I'm somewhere and like waiting or something. I finished these socks a couple of weeks ago. I talked about them in my last podcast episode. So I needed a new pair of socks, and I picked up a yarn that I'm really excited about to knit with, because it will be part of our October sock box this year. So for our sock boxes that we're doing, we're approaching our 1 year anniversary because we launched them for Socktober last year, and I'm going to change up the concept slightly. I'm going to talk a bit more about how it's going to be and why in one of the next podcast episodes, because it's still a little ways out until you can get the October sock box. But one of the things that I decided is that I'm going to tell you which yarn you're getting. I'm not going to tell you the colorway, that's going to be a surprise, but I'm going to tell you the yarn that you're getting, because I know that there are some people out there who, for example, can't knit with mohair, which is a natural strengthener that's often used in all natural sock yarns, which, by the way, is the thing that we do with the sock boxes. So it's always yarns that are plastic free, so no nylon, so they're just natural fibers. But, I understand if you can't knit with mohair and mohair is added to yarn, you will want to know that beforehand. And so I tell you the base and I tell you the dyer, but the exact colorway is not going to be revealed. I picked this up at Unravel in February from my wonderful friend Julie, who runs and owns Black Isle Yarns. She's based in Scotland, and she gets some beautiful blends custom spun, and then naturally dyes them in her home studio. This is her Killen sock. Hello camera, please focus. Which is an 80% blue face Leicester, 20% mohair blend, spun to a relatively high twist. It's a 2-ply yarn, standard sock yarn yardage, so 400 meters per 100 grams, 437 yards. And I'm really excited about this. It's beautiful. It has a really nice shine to it. And Julie's dye skills are just amazing. I can't actually remember what that colorway is called. I think sea glass, maybe? Not entirely sure. But it's dyed with indigo and weld. So indigo dyes blue and weld dyes yellow, so obviously you get green. And I don't have a pair of green socks. And this is quite out of my comfort zone. That is my comfort zone, right? Like that too. Anyways, really excited about this. And I just started, I have finished the toe and switched to my trusted mini circulars. My preferred method of knitting socks is toe up. I always start the toe on long circular needles though, because I don't like doing the fiddly bits of the increases and stuff when you have just a small amount of stitches on the mini circulars. And then once I've reached the foot part, then I switch to my mini circulars. So that's where I'm at now. And just look how cute this is. Oh, it's starting to rain. If you can hear raindrops, that's why. So I think this is super cute. I really like it. And yeah, it's great. We can knit a little bit more on this now. Just sit with me and knit for a minute. As I said, this morning I haven't had any knitting yet or I haven't done any knitting yet because of my failed exercise of picking up the correct number of stitches. And then I was like, I'd better use this morning time when it's still cool to record the podcast episode. Because my plan for this week is to get all of the work things that I need to get done ideally in the morning today. And then I can go to IKEA for lunch because I need to pick up a shelf for a small yarn market that I'm mending at in July. And then I also need to go to the garden market to pick up a couple of plans for the balcony because sadly let's talk about the good things first. So Oren and I we grew tomatoes from seed, which are doing fantastically. I'm looking over there because they're out there. We also have one zucchini plant that's just exploding with leaves right now. But we also tried to grow a few cucumber plants and none of them survived the move to the balcony, sadly. So I want to get a couple of more cucumber plants and a few more strawberry plants because we've had really good luck with strawberries this year. So yeah. And then I'm going to pick up Diablo 4 and yeah, that's going to be really nice. Sort of like taking I'm not really taking a mini vacation at home this week, but I would like to have all of the must-dos work-wise done before, I don't know, by the end of today, before I reward myself with a trip to IKEA, which I really like. So yeah. While I'm just knitting and talking with you, also do let me know if you like that, like the just, all of the update stuff maybe interspersed with a little bit of knitting time and just like a little bit of a life update or something. It seems like I'm feeling chatty today, so if you like that kind of stuff, do let me know. I also just realized that I haven't told you yet what I'm wearing. sounds like I'm a fashion influencer, which I'm not. I am wearing the Serendipity t-shirt from our issue 7. It's a design by Tanya DeJoy, and I made that last year. And it's really cute. I really like it. It has this nice sort of eyelet thing at the back. And yeah, I quite like that. Okay, enough knitting. Let's talk about knitting plans. So every few months, I arrive at a point where I'm nearing the end of like a stretch of projects that I planned. So I knew that like for this summer, I wanted to make the Blossom t-shirt and the Grassland t-shirt, which I've done, and the Violet tee, which is almost complete. And I also sort of like that was basically kind of my knitting plan. And then I also always have the socks. So whenever I'm sort of like close to ending like one of those project stretches, I start project planning the next kind of couple of projects. So that's what I want to talk a little bit about today. And I have 3 things that I would like to cast on. The first one is another summer well, not really t-shirt, it's a top. The Piteraq top from Breeze, our second book, designed by Solène Roux. This is one of the books where I love the photography. Like, I absolutely adore the setting, and the model, my friend Caroline, looks beautiful. But every time that I look through the book, or I look through the photos that I have, I'm reminded how much I've learned since then about knitwear photography. Because the thing is, like, the top has a really striking lace pattern running down one side, and I don't have a single photo of it. I don't, which is just super sad. Here you can kind of see it. So yeah, so this is what I'm going to be making, and I am going to knit this in the Rerum Natura's Antigone, the yarn that I knit the Grassland t-shirt in. But I am waiting for the new colors. So the Rerum Natura launched 9 new colors in Antigone a little while back, but at that point I couldn't afford to get all of them for the shop. They have since been sold out, but they are coming back to the Rerum Natura shop next week, I believe, at which point I will be able to afford placing a small order for them, and I want to use one of the new colorways for that top. I don't know yet which one, but we'll figure that out. The next thing that I'm gonna swatch for is something that I talked about a few months ago when I got the yarn for it. I want to make myself a Twisted Vines sweater. This is from issue 5, a design by Joan Forgione. It's a cropped, slightly boxy sweater, no surprises there to anyone that I'm choosing that shape, but it has a slight v-neck and this really gorgeous cable pattern down the sleeves. And I got yarn for it in April when I ordered some limited edition yarn from my friend Yule from Woollentwine. So this is her heritage blend. It's the DK weight. It's 80% Scotch wool, 20% Swedish fine wool. And this is sourced from Flocks, really, really close to Hamburg, where Yule lives. And then spun in Denmark. It's a woolen spun yarn. It's really gorgeous. This is undyed. I believe that Yule will have some of this coming to her June shop update, which is June 23rd, if I'm not mistaken. And I don't think she has a lot left. So if you like this, now would be a good time to get it. So I'm going to be swatching for the sweater in this. And the third project that I want to cast on is, it's so cute, is a kid sweater. So I have 3 nephews, 2 from my sister's side and then 1 from David's brother's side. And when we vacationed with them back in January, we had packed Oren's Marled winter sweater. So I made him a Marled, like blue and white Marled sweater. And they really liked that one and asked if I could make one for their kid. And I was like, yes, of course. I'm not going to make it now because I want him to have it in the next winter. We're going to see them in August. And so I want to make that sweater for that kid so that we can take it to them. And I need to play a bit with the yarn. So this is the yarn that I used for Oren's sweater. Garthenor Organic, fantastic yarn company. You know that how much I love them. This is their special edition. I don't think they have a lot of this left, if any, that they made to celebrate their move to a different location. And they super kindly gifted me this yarn when I worked with them at their booth at Unravel last year in the fall. So this is Teifi. Hello. Colorway Meander number 6. And I used the blue, which is Pentland and Paphos, for the contrast. Now I know that I had 3 skeins and of the Marled. And I need to weigh this leftover bit. But it roughly means I used 1.5 skeins of the Marled for Oren's sweater. And then I also, again, need to weigh this, but I believe about half a skein here. So I am thinking that because the kid that I'm knitting for is younger than Oren, that I'll probably be able to make exactly the same sweater. If not, I have a skein of Garthenor's number 2, which is exactly the same specifications in this beautiful undyed cream shade, which also would go really well. So I could do some color blocking. So yeah. So I need to actually message the parents to see which measurements or cloth size my nephew has right now. So that I can decide which size to knit it. Those are my knitting plans. Let's talk a little bit about shop news. So the first thing that I want to talk about is that our big summer sale has started. Yay! We do 3 sales a year. I do a back issue sale in February, a big summer sale in June, and then a Black Week sale in November. Outside of that, no sales, because I want you to know about these so that you can plan. So if you would like to get some of our yarns or of our magazines, but you are in a position where financially that's maybe a bit difficult, that there are these 3 sales coming up. Also, I get it that it's annoying when you place an order and then like a day and a half later there's like a sale. So I tried to tell you about these beforehand so that you know. And I also tried to tell you about more or less what's coming to the shop, or rather what's not going to be discounted, so that you know about this. For the big summer sale, I brought back the €5 back issues, so you can get all of the print versions of the back issues at €5. And for the first time ever, I also did that for the print versions of our 3 books. So we didn't have those in the last back issue sale, but we have them now in the big summer sale. Yes, it's only for the print editions, and we keep getting questions about this. The reason why we're doing this for the print editions only and not for the digital editions is because I am doing the €5 back issue sale because I want to move the print product. I have quite a bit of stock of at this point, we've sold out of issue 3, 5, 6, and 9. But I still have quite a lot of stock of issues 1, 2, 4, and a little bit of 7 and 8. And I want to move those products, right? Like they're just sitting there and I want to rehome them into loving hands. It's not about me like making tons of money out of this sale. It's about moving the print product, which is the reason why it's only the discount or the reduced price is only available for the print product. So we keep getting questions about why is this not for the digital version, because I want to move the print product. Other than that, we do have really good yarns in the sale, really good yarns that have been sitting on our shelves for a little while. Quite a bit of it is already gone, but there are 2 yarn companies whose yarns are still available, and they're really good yarns. They're just not something that has sold really well for us. One is Biche Le Petit Lamb's Wool, which is a beautiful fingering weight woolen spun yarn. So we still have that in a few colorways. And the other one, or ones I should say, that are still in stock from the sales section are Hudson and West Coast, Forage and Weld. So this is a yarn company that we started carrying last year. I was really, really excited about it because it's 100% US grown and made wool yarn. It's really beautiful yarn with great stitch definition, fantastic for cables. But I am not sure if we're going to restock it. And that's why I put it into the sale. To be very honest, it just hasn't sold well for us. I think maybe I'm wrong, but I think for the current financial climate that we're in, and for what this particular yarn is, it's a bit too expensive for our shop, possibly. Like, it's really good yarn, and I completely 100% stand by the price because I understand where it's coming from. It's expensive if you do everything domestically. And I'm the first one to fight for pricing that actually reflects the value of products. And at the same time, we also all need to face the fact that we are in the middle of a living cost crisis, and that, you know, maybe our yarn budgets have changed over the last year. And I think that the yarn maybe wasn't as good a fit for us as I thought. It is a really good yarn. But I am also a little bit disappointed at the level of support that we as a stockist received, which is really important for me. It's not really something that I go into a lot on the podcast here, but there are some yarn companies who, for example, will send you periodically newsletters with new patterns and put you on their website as a stockist and things like that. And for this particular yarn company, I don't think we're listed on the website as a stockist yet, which to me is just really disappointing because we were their first European stockist. They seem to be really excited about working with us. I was really excited about working with them. And then something like this, which is to me is a really minor thing for them, but a really important thing for us, it just doesn't leave a very good feeling for me. And one of the things, and that's a very privileged position, I think, but it's really important for me to work with yarn companies that I can stand 100% behind. And I know that this is maybe a little bit weird, but I want to know that I work with people who care about the same things that I do. And if I don't have the feeling that that's the case, then I also don't really feel good about their things anymore, right? So, yeah. I had not planned that at all. Like, don't get me wrong. It's a lovely company. It's really beautiful yarn. I had great contacts with them. It's just been a little bit of a disappointment. Which is why I decided to put the yarn up like in our sales section, and it's just, yeah, it's there. It's really good yarn if you want to have a good deal on it, because again, like, I'm not saying that I will never restock it. I'm saying that right now I don't think I will. So yeah, there's that. Sorry, the annoying thing is still going on. What's wrong with that? If anyone knows the solution to this, please let me know in the comments down below. Okay. That was a big summer sale. Then I have an update on our magazine subscriptions. So when this podcast episode goes live, our magazine subscription will have rolled over to issue 10, which is coming on September 5th. It's a bit earlier for us to do this than we would usually do it. The reason for this is that we've gotten quite a few questions over the last few weeks, whether people can already pre-order the print copies or like order a print subscription starting from issue 10. As you know, issue 9 sold out in a heartbeat for us. It was gone by the release day. And I completely understand that you want to secure your copy of issue 10. So, as of now, you can do so by subscribing to the magazine. You will not get issue 9. Your subscription will start with issue 10. If you don't want to subscribe, we will be putting up pre-orders for the magazine mid-July. So when we open our stockist pre-orders, stockists can then open pre-orders for their own shops, and we also open pre-orders for our shops. So at that point, if you just want to get a print copy of issue 10, you can. If you are a subscriber to the magazine, but you only have a digital, or not only, but you have a digital subscription, but you would like to switch to a print subscription, because I know that a lot of you got a digital subscription for issue 9 when it sold out as print, you can upgrade to print this week only. So keep an eye out on your emails. If you are a digital only subscriber and you haven't gotten an email by Wednesday, do let us know, because there will be a special listing for you that will upgrade you to the print version. So the listing will be the additional price for the print version for issue 10, plus the shipping cost for issue 10. And then, because our magazine is an annual auto renewal, we will automatically switch you to the print subscription with your renewal after issue 10. So if you want to upgrade from a digital subscription to a print subscription, you can do so this week. Also, if you subscribe to the magazine before the end of July, you get automatically early access to our yarn cave for our issue 9 yarns, which will go live by the end of July. So I'm really excited about that. We have some really, really beautiful kits coming your way. Plus, one of the things that I'll be doing for issue 10 for the yarn kits is that they come at a slightly discounted price compared to if you purchase the yarn outright. So you might want to consider that. Okay, what else? Sauna restock this week. I talked about this. New Antigone colors are coming either next week or the week after next. And then also, just as an outlook, we have really exciting things coming your way in July, which is all about the boxes. So in early July, we'll launch the pre-orders for our winter celebration boxes, which we did for the first time last year. And that was super fun and really successful. And I'll tell you more about that when the time comes, but they're going to be available for pre-order at the beginning of July. And then later in July, we'll relaunch our sock box subscription. And I'm really excited about that. I feel really good about the changes there. Okay, that's it. This episode was a lot longer than I thought it would be. I'm really sorry, again, that the lighting thing, I know that it's a bit annoying. Please see past it and come back. I really enjoyed just having like a little bit more time to talk with you. I hope you liked it. Do let me know if you want to have like some more of that just knitting and chatting time in the podcast, or if you don't. And then I hopefully see you again here in 2 weeks. Bye.